My name is Stacey Violinas. I am the unit leader for the Guided Living, and this morning we are celebrating World Disability Awareness, and we are here doing a fun day, family fun day for persons that are differently abled. We are talking and asking the community for inclusion for persons in our community that are different, persons that are disabled. And for this day, we are bringing awareness to our community to know that persons like what we're seeing here this morning, that they need to be included in our community. We need to accept them. We not have to shun them, don't have sympathy for them, but for them to be a part of us, we need to be able to show empathy, and for us to be educated on who they are, what some of what their needs are and what they're going through, and how we can include them in society. So the different platforms that we need to give them the opportunity to be in, and this is why we are here. And basically this morning we are here with some of our persons that collaborated with the White and Yellow Cross. We have SVB, we have social services, we have the government, so it's CDFHA, that is the collective department that caters to persons that are differently able, the elderly, and persons that are in need in the community. And this is pretty much why we are here this morning for this celebration. This is the first time that we are taking the initiative to do something like this, and this will definitely not be the last time that we are hosting this.
Okay, today we're here at ACE Home Center in Colbay. We're testing the people for the diabetic, cholesterol, and high pressure, free of charge. So it's nice to see all the people coming and wanted to do the test, because the more you know about yourself, the more protected you can be. You can prevent what you to do for your health. It's always good to know your figures. The testing, a lot of people, the most important is the sugar, of course, the diabetic, to keep track of that, because that is very important to know, to eat on time. As I always say, once you eat on time, you have it more in your control. And if you miss eating, and watch what you're eating, of course, but on time eating is one of the best things to do. Every first Monday of the month, we're testing people at the John Harmony Center, where we get people from home, away from home, and there we also test about 40 to 50 people, and they're very nice to test the seniors, because they really take care of themselves. They want to know how good they are, how they're progressing, and everything. So it's a nice feeling for doing the testing with the seniors. I have some volunteers, but the most problem is during the week it's not so easy, because most people work. So like the John Harmony Center, we have little help. It's me and my wife. Sometimes we get some help for other volunteers, but during the weekend we get more help for the volunteers. But still, we want more volunteers, because more we have, more we can do, and the more information we can give the people.
When is the next stop for testing?
The next stop for testing, we're going back to the other side of the island. I hope we can do by, I think, Cape Coast, but that is over 2 weeks, I think. By Cape Coast on Brouwers Road. Keep track of yourself. Testing, then you know where you are and what you can do to prevent to get a bad signal from yourself. Because don't go to the doctor when it's too late. Go on time, keep track on yourself. So that's the best prevention to get any sickness.
Mealtime rules. Don't serve yourself first. Do not eat with your mouth open. Don't rest your elbows on the table. Don't make noise when eating. Does not apply when enjoying KFC buckets. When we bucket together, we are as we really are.
At SXM, we're taking travel and tourism to new heights. Here we boast spacious check-in areas, 10 passport control points, comfortable departure lounges, and finally, there's an airport in the Caribbean that takes your travel plans as seriously as you do. Princess Juliana International Airport.
During the hurricane season, a potential tropical cyclone can produce rainfall that can cause flash flooding and rockfalls. Stay away from flood-prone areas during heavy rainfall, such as Jump Up Casino on Emil Plain Road in Phillipsburg, ATLH Road Roundabout, L.B. Scott Road from Emilio Wilson Park until Cake House Supermarket, Zaker's Gut from Petro Plus gas station until the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Welchelaken Road K Hill from Welchelaken Road Roundabout until the One Tete Loke Roundabout, Beacon Hill Road from Sunset Bar and Grill until the beginning of White Sands Road, and Rhine Road, also known as Mullet Bay Road, after Sonesto Maho Beach Hotel to the entrance of Cooper Coy from the intersection of the University Drive until the intersection of Rio Grande. For more information on how you can keep yourself and your family safe this hurricane season, visit stmartingolf.org/hurricane. This public service announcement is brought to you by the government of St. Martin.
Now, one would recall the old age pension for the people of St. Martin, for the seniors of St. Martin, should have been indexed back in January of this year. So as per the 1st of January of 2023, the government erroneously tried to make a correction to the manner of calculating the indexation by issuing a general decree. So by issuing a government decree. However, that was not possible. It was not possible. It was not correct to deal with it in such a manner. Hence, it took so long for the draft ordinance to reach us. It came to Parliament. We dealt with it in Central Committee. And now we are hoping that a public meeting regarding the indexation of the pension amounts, that public meeting happens as soon as possible. One can argue, and I've heard members of government refer to it, that whenever the law is finished, the indexation, so the increase in pension, will go into effect retroactively to January. However, what is overlooked in such a situation is that the amounts that need to be paid out over by, let's say by September, you're talking 9 months, that might put the senior in a taxable bracket for that month. And it will, the retroactive will be considered an extraordinary payout, and it will be taxed accordingly. So this particular ordinance, the draft ordinance, which is with Parliament at this time, and the handling started, is something that the both of us are very keen on, that this happens as soon as possible to avoid a further buildup of the retroactive pension increase. One of the issues that, of course, is still playing, and we have been writing about, we have been asking questions on the matter of tax reform. And one would recall that it was back in February that I stated that it seemed as if the Minister of Finance was reluctant to get the proposal that the government seemingly has approved. So the proposal for tax reform approved by the COM, to have a in-depth discussion on that matter. And yes, the minister came to Parliament. He presented 8 slides, 8 sheets in a presentation, and then he gave some verbal elucidation. But if one looks at the country package for this particular topic, the country package speaks of a position paper, a decision paper. Parliament, at least not these members of Parliament, have not seen any such a position paper with concrete points of the whole tax reform that the minister likes to call tax improvement proposal. In addition to that, the General Audit Chamber made a report regarding these many assessments that are done, as they call it, ex officio, meaning coming from the tax department. And in that report by the General Audit Chamber, they are suggesting that government addresses that matter now. They are making recommendations to government, but we haven't heard a word from the Minister of Finance or any other government minister regarding this matter. But in the meantime, we need to take note of what is happening as part of the country package process, and when the minister wants to come to Parliament and provide a kind of piecemeal information that he has been presenting.
We have some great news for Grand Cause. If you can remember, on July 21st, 2022, during the celebration of Victor Shoshar, Grand Cause Fête, President Louis Mussington announced that the Catholic Church in Grand Cause, which was damaged by the devastation of Hurricane Irma, would benefit from a renovation program. Today, the collectivity is delighted to share with you the concrete progress of this project. In collaboration with Service Cadre de Vie de la Collectivité, that's the Urbanism, Spatial Planning, Environment, and Infrastructure Department, the president presented the church renovation plan to Father Rulux Andre Alcinus. Work on the roof will commence at the end of July.
We said we are going to rebuild or restore the church in Grand Cause, and yes, it will happen on our watch. So thank you. So I said during the church service, for those of you who are present, that I would share this responsibility or this achievement with the former team, because we met the project ongoing. So we just take it up from there and do the necessary. And I was told that the workers, the companies who would be intervening would do diligence in terms of speeding up the process, so that within a relatively short period, we would have a brand new restored building for the Catholic community of Grand Cause, but also for the entire population of St. Martin, because it is an edifice that today forms part of the architecture, the patrimony, or the patrimonial architecture of the village of Grand Cause. So an area that can and most certainly will be visited by the tourists coming to the shores of St. Martin. So people of Grand Cause, be proud of what the collectivity will do for you in the future.
This initiative is part of the Neighborhood Heritage Enhancement Program, one more step towards preserving the history and culture of St. Martin. Because it is the responsibility of local government to finance the maintenance and conservation of the religious buildings they own, Grand Cause Church benefits from this program, as well as the Methodist Church of Marigot, which is currently undergoing renovation thanks to public funding. Our heritage deserves to be preserved and valued. It is a precious heritage that we must pass on to future generations.
a combination that will surprise the most curious palates. Combining the deliciousness of KFC chicken and the practicality of a taco with a doubly delicious ergonomic shape. Wow! Compatible with all types of bites. New Taco. Enjoy a double-breaded chicken breast with our secret recipe. Cheese, lettuce, and tomato. New Taco, the innovation that's in everyone's mouth.
It's hurricane season. Are you prepared? Here are a few tips to keep in mind to help keep you and your family safe. The Atlantic hurricane season runs from June 1st to November 30th, with the peak occurring between mid-August and late October. This hurricane season, be sure to put together a go bag. A disaster supply kit including a flashlight, batteries, cash, first aid and supplies, medications, and copies of your critical information if you need to evacuate. This public service announcement was brought to you by the government of St. Martin.
At SXM, we're taking travel and tourism to new heights. Here we boast spacious check-in areas, 10 passport control points, comfortable departure lounges, and finally, there's an airport in the Caribbean that takes your travel plans as seriously as you do. Princess Juliana International Airport.
St. Martin, listen up. The Civil Registry Department has taken 7 services online. That's right, you can now request a family tree, local address change, migration deregistration, a registration form, requests for existing certificates, transfer your driver's license, and a driver's license declaration, all online. Go to services.stmartingov.org/civil registry and easily complete a request form for the service that you need. You can also pay for the services online using a major credit card or debit card and receive certain final products digitally as well. No traffic jams, no waiting in lines, and if you're on island or off, you now have full digital access to 7 civil registry services at services.stmartingov.org/civil registry. That's services.stmartingov.org/civil registry. For more information, call 542-0652. Now go online and request your service form today.
Mealtime rules. Don't serve yourself first. Do not eat with your mouth open. Don't rest your elbows on the table. Don't make noise when eating. Does not apply when enjoying KFC buckets. When we bucket together, we are as we really are.
It's 1500 GMT and we continue with breaking news this hour. Israel's parliament has voted and approved to change a crucial aspect of the country's judicial system. The new law will limit the power of Supreme Court judges. The controversial plan has led to mass protests. Tens of thousands of Israelis blocked roads outside the Knesset to demonstrate against the bill. Rallies have been held since January when the proposed amendments were announced. Critics say the bill is a threat to democracy.
Okay, I'll just let you know where I am. I'm around 200 meters away from the Supreme Court and also the Israeli Knesset, where the reasonableness bill was passed today. I've been speaking to numerous people from the tens of thousands of people behind me in the protests. People, of course, are angry. They're hurt. They've been out protesting for months, not only against this bill, but also the full judicial overhaul, which was put on ice just a few months ago. And many just didn't expect this to go through. They certainly didn't want it. So I just want to give you a sense of what's happening behind me. This is a sea of blue and white Israeli flags. People have been out here in the blistering heat for many hours. The head of the movement has actually put in 1 minute after the reasonableness bill was passed. He put in a complaint to the Supreme Court about this bill, but it puts him in a bit of a catch-22 situation because the Supreme Court could reject the bill, but because of the new bill, they also can't. So it creates a bit of a constitutional crisis. Now, here to join me, I actually have a member of the reservists who's been one of the leaders of the protest. So thank you so much for joining us. Hello. Can you just tell me, there are 10,000 reservists who said they will not turn up to work if this bill is passed. Yep. Are you one of those? Will you not turn up to work?
I'm one of those who also volunteer, but personal, everyone here, there's amazing people behind me. We the people, we have a personal story. My story is I'm also a disabled veteran, so I volunteer in other things. And but the general mindset, of course, is that this government of destruction are breaking the fundamental contract between the country and the model of our IDF, which is the People's Army, an army by the people for the people, and therefore, of course, we want volunteer to defend any country. It's not about any political discussion. It's not about right and left. It's about right and wrong. And as people that swear off only to the values embedded in the Declaration of Independence, that we believe in freedom, civil rights, justice, and equality.
This bill 24 persons voted for, which has reached the 2/3 majority as required as per our Constitution.
Seconded.
This bill is passed and so cited.
Conscious that there must be a review periodically to ensure that we are not scoring an own goal in the end. But conscious that we are in a far better position to fight corruption given the other substantive pieces of legislation to which I referred at the outset of my speech that allow us now to be able to be more laser-like in the fight against corruption.
Spain's Conservative People's Party wins the snap election, but falls short of the numbers needed to form a coalition in Parliament, a result that could work in Premier Pedro Sanchez's favour.
At a migration conference in Rome, Italian Premier Giorgia Meloni calls for a more equal relationship between European and developing countries. Danish rider Jonas Vingegaard has won the Tour de France for the second year running, beating rival Tadej Pogačar by 7 minutes.
Is Spain heading for political deadlock? After a neck-and-neck race, the Conservative People's Party won the most votes after Sunday's snap election. However, with 136 seats, Alberto Núñez Feijóo's party has fallen short of most poll predictions. PP was expected to form a coalition with the far-right Vox party, which secured 33 seats, just 7 short of the 176 needed to form a majority in Parliament. If Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez combines forces with the left bloc, he could secure a total of 172 seats, and Alliance Feijóo warns could produce weeks of political jockeying.
Le pido al Partido Socialista expresamente y al resto de las fuerzas políticas que no bloqueen el gobierno de España una vez más. No hay ningún presidente del gobierno de España que haya gobernado después de perder las elecciones.
The People's Party garnered support in the regional and local elections on the 28th of May, prompting Sanchez to call the snap election. The 51-year-old had hoped that the prospect of a right-wing government would help mobilise left-wing voters, a gamble that may have worked in his favour.
Gracias a toda España, porque hemos demostrado al mundo que somos una democracia fuerte, una democracia limpia, una gran democracia. Aquellos que planteaban el machismo, el retroceso en derechos y en libertades han fracasado en el día de hoy y el bloque involucionista del Partido Popular con Vox han salido derrotados.
A PP-Vox government would have resulted in another EU member state swinging to the right, a trend recently seen in Sweden, Finland and Italy. However, the leftist Sumar alliance secured 31 seats, making this less likely. Despite soaring temperatures, voter turnout was 70%. A record 2.5 million voters also cast their ballots by post.